Okay, good evening. Is the voice okay? How's the voice sound? Is it audible? Can you hear the voice? Just testing now. Perfect. I'm going to test the camera. The camera's working fine. Video, camera and the screen, all good? Fantastic. Excellent. Welcome everyone. I'm a little bit disappointed that there's only a couple of people in here at the moment. I hope more people will come in. Very, very important for us to do this weekly session. Sorry? Hello? Mighty, you can't hear? Anyway, so yeah, it's very important that we have these regular weekly sessions. They are recorded. Ufuk, you can hear, right?
Yes, I can hear pretty clear.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
thank you. All right. I'll have to continue. So yeah, it's very important for anyone who's watching this recording later. Please attend these weekly sessions. This is a great time for me to have a direct conversation with you for an hour a week, so that I can help you, because there's 3 assignments, and the first one is a little bit is quite tricky. There are some parts of the assignment 1 you need to be here for me to show you, and you need to be able to ask questions live. So anyone's watching this recording later on, please attend these weekly sessions, because you're going to need all the help you can get for assignment 1. Assignment 2 and 3, I'll go over the assignments a little bit later, are research based. So you can that one's a bit easier. But let me go through the presentation today. All right, so this is me. I currently work at I'm a casual online learning advisor and unit coordinator at Swimbet Online. My main role, the job I do during the daytime, is I work at RMIT University. I teach at RMIT. Excuse me. I like traveling. Japan's one of my favorite places, and Godzilla in the background. I have a master in cybersecurity, and I've got some other certifications there. I have worked at the Royal Australian Navy and other parts of the Australian Defence Force. If you've got your mic on, could you just put the mute the mic. Anyone's got that? I can hear a bit of feedback. Excuse me. All right. So if you've got the mic on, if you could just mute it, I can just hear feedback. Thank you. Okay. So let's talk about what we're going to learn in this. This is a really interesting subtopic, very important subject. There's some fundamentals here. At the end of this unit, when you complete these tasks, the 3 assessments, you'll be able to implement strategies relating to network security issues and threat mitigation. So we're going to learn about security, cybersecurity, and what the threats are and how we mitigate the threats. In cybersecurity, there's no such thing as eliminate threats. You cannot eliminate threats. You can mitigate them. You can reduce them. I'll give you an example, real world example. If I walk out in the street, I cannot eliminate the threat that the moon's going to fall on my head. Okay, it's very unlikely. Okay, very, very unlikely that the moon's going to land and hit me on the head. But I can never eliminate it 100%. But I can mitigate by maybe walking away from, if the moon's coming, I'll walk somewhere else. I can maybe I can dig big tunnels into the ground or something. I can do something about it, but I can never eliminate that threat. Cybersecurity is not about eliminating threats. We can't eliminate. We don't have control over what other people do. We cannot stop nation states or criminals or even our servers from going down. We can't stop these attacks or these issues, but we can reduce as much as possible those threats by implementing controls, by configuration, by policy, by education, by teaching people in our organizations. So threat mitigation. So no elimination, no such thing as elimination, mitigation. So we can integrate different security measures and access controls, that magic word, access controls, to provide enhanced levels of security. So I can strengthen the security, and that will help prevent attacks or mitigate, reduce the likelihood of those attacks. Communicate and disseminate business-wide policy in relation to network security with the focus on cyber security frameworks. There are many frameworks out there. There are organizations that have done the job for us already. They've already got frameworks in place. All we have to do is just go get them. If you want, you can implement your own frameworks and policies for your organizations. You don't have to follow anyone, but they're there already. And I'll in a couple of lessons down, a couple of weeks down, I'll actually go get some websites and show you where to get those policies. For example, just a really quick example. There's a policy framework which recommends password management. It says that they say you should have 14 characters minimum, 14 characters, mixture of numbers and letters, uppercase, lowercase. Need to rotate them after 30 days. So that's a policy that you can implement into the organization, and you can set configurations to force your users to follow those policies. Another policy is acceptable user policy. You cannot use BitTorrent and download videos on a corporate network. Maybe you don't want, Facebook is on your own technologies, not on the corporate. So these policies that we implement, we need to enforce. Okay. And we need to tell everyone about it too. So if you get a new job in a respectable or reputable organization, one of the first things they give you when you're doing your induction, when you're doing an induction, they give you an acceptable use policy. That means that when you come into work, you can't, most of the times you can't go to gambling websites, you can't watch pornography, you can't watch tobacco or drugs, or look up that sort of thing, or terrorist violence thing. That's an acceptable use policy. You can't, like if they give you a laptop for work, one of the acceptable use policy could be that you have to update and patch that equipment all the time. That's an acceptable use policy. There's others too. We can evaluate and recommend appropriate solutions to emerging network security issues every day. Every day there's a new attack. There's a new a threat all the time. So we need to be focusing ongoing. And you will learn some strategies. I'll go through some strategies with you on how to keep your up to date with these new and emerging technologies, network security issues. And then also you'll be learning about how to analyze a variety of network auditing and forensic tools. Forensic tools is a digital forensic is actually a very interesting topic, and you're actually going to be doing that. There is a assignment 1, and I'll go through the assignments shortly. Actually, let's do the assignments next. So I'll talk to you about assignment 1, which has some cybersecurity forensics involved. So the first assignment is about project analysis of data traffic flows. So we've set this scenario up. We've simulated a workplace environment where there's lots of communication traffic, emails, images being transferred, FTP being used, and we've captured all of that data traffic. When the time comes, I will explain to you a lot more about assignment 1, but in assignment 1, you have to analyze that traffic, and you have to come to a conclusion about what's the threat, who is the attacker, who is the threat, the threat actor. Okay, what was downloaded, what was uploaded, who's been doing what, who's been talking. You know, you're going to do some forensic. You're going to analyze the data traffic, and then you're going to write a report on it. It's actually quite an interesting subject, but I'm going to guide you and help you all with that. Assignments 2 and 3. So assignment 2 is there's been given a scenario. Scenario is given to you. It's a simulated scenario. So and I'm going to get asked this quite a lot, especially for those who are not attending the weekly tutorials, the weekly collab sessions. But hopefully, if you're watching this, this is not a real organization for security plan. You don't have to go to a real company and do this. This is just a fabrication. This is just a simulation. But what you have to do is you have to pretend. You have to think about, if this was real, what would you do in this scenario? So there is a current. So for assignment 2. There is a organization that's not real, and there are some fundamental flaws. There's something bad about that system. There's something wrong. And what you have to do for assignment 2 is look at all the, you have to do a sort of like a risk management assessment, find out what's wrong, and then provide recommendations on how to mitigate the security issues, and what you'd recommend to that organization do to fix those problems. Assignment 3 is purely a research. You go out and do some research. Go out and write a report about the wireless security standards out there. 3 is, you go out and go to some books, some academic resources, and you write in an academic method. You just tell us what is a wireless security standard. All right, so before I give you a tour of the actual modules, does anyone have any questions? And I know there's only 2 people at the moment. I think, May Tai, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear? Okay, that's a shame that she can't hear. Now, before I continue with this, before I go into I'm just going to bring up the actual syllabus. I do have okay. So when you need help, the absolute best time, seriously, if you need help with anything, come to these weekly sessions. I'm here at 6 p.m. and I can stay to 7:30. I can stay to 8. Maybe, I can stay as long as you like. I'm contracted to do 1-hour sessions, but I don't mind. I can spend much more time if you like. I'm here for you. I'm here to help everyone. The other thing is you can contact me via email. There is a discussion group as well. So if we go to discussion, okay. Okay, my Tai, sorry to hear that. Sorry, my headset went off again too. So now you can, and I encourage this, to come into the discussion group and post questions as regularly as you can. Now that's not how you get there. That's not how I get there. So this is what you'll see. So first of all, come and post your introductions. I think we've got a couple. Bernadette Ufuk, I can see your introduction. Thank you for that. I've got Dan Tuan, some introductions. Really good. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. We'll get the discussions going. If you ask a question in this forum, I might get back to. I might respond around about 24 to 48 hours. And same if you contact me via email. And this is my email address, just in case. So between 24 and 48 hours. But to be honest, I'll probably reply earlier than that, because I'm always on my computer. I've got my phone. I've got Canvas. So I'll probably see your messages pretty quickly. I'm always on some sort of device. However, I do have a Discord room where I do extra tutorials of all types of things. So not just about cybersecurity, but I teach Cisco, Microsoft products. I teach cybersecurity as well, and I'll give you all an invitation to that. I'll get the link there. I do recommend you come and have a look at this, because it's actually I just started this about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks, and it's starting to rock now. It's starting to really get. I'm getting up to about 100 people now, and it's growing really fast. So I've got students from all over, from all different types of organizations, mostly Swinburne, of course. I'm also going to organize some other like blogs and other social media, because I want everyone to get excited about cybersecurity and IT, and I want to make this engaging and interesting. The one thing I hate the most, for me personally, this is just me, right? I really dislike sitting in a classroom or watching online where it is really, really, really boring. Yeah, and I don't have a powerful attention span. I have to have coffee and drink. Focus for me is challenging. So I like the engaging and interesting lecturers or teachers. But sometimes you just have to work hard. Even if you don't get an interesting lecturer or teacher, you have to. That's life, right? But as an instructor, teacher myself, I try to make it interesting and engaging, and I like to have a discussion, and I like to get people communicating with me. That's why I'm using all these different types of communications, discussion groups, email, Discord. If you have one, if you like to use a WhatsApp group or Signal or I want to be able to communicate with you in the way that you're happy with. All right. So yeah, discussion group is a powerful tool. If you want to reach out to me, LinkedIn as well. You can reach out on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, you'll find it there. I don't use LinkedIn as much as often, because I'm not looking for a job, so I don't really sign in that much. I'm quite happy working at Swinburne. So, all right, now this is a syllabus. It is recommended that you spend about 12 hours study per week, whatever you need. Sometimes some people need a bit more, some people need a little bit less, right? But what we'll go through is we're going to go first and talk about the fundamentals of networking. So we're going through the OSI model, and we're going to start opposite. We're going to start at top down, start at the application level, which is unusual. Usually we start from bottom up, physical, data link, network. We're actually going to start at the application level first. Now, we're going to do this a bit differently. And then we will, I can see Ufuk, thank you. I can see you in Discord, so I'm going to say hi back. And I'll put a little hi with my favorite character from Star Wars. That's a hello back. Yeah, We'll also talk a little bit about, so after the fundamentals of IT, we're going to talk a little bit about foundations of cryptography. Cryptography is, you can go really deep into it and get a PhD in cryptography and still only know about 5% of it. Or you can just cover the basics and it's going to be enough for you to do your day-to-day job. But you need to know a little bit about cryptography, the different types, encryption, hashing algorithms, what do we need them for? Just a bit of a basic understanding. This unit, we cover the essentials of cryptography. We're not going to learn calculus, the maths of movement. We're not going to go and learn about physics or computer science. I mean, it's a bit, for me, it's out of my ability and talents. But we need to know a little bit so that we can actually know the difference between having a encrypted network with like using tools that are encrypted, like SSH, for example. If we SSH into a server or a device, we know that communication is encrypted. But if we telnet into a device, that's not encrypted. And if there is someone monitoring the network, they'll be able to see everything if it's in clear text, if it's using telnet. We're going to go through a little bit of that. Yeah, I'll show you a couple of tools. We're going to use Wireshark to capture traffic. I'll show you how to capture traffic, but we're going to need Wireshark for our assignment 1, and I'm going to teach you how to use Wireshark if you don't know it already. Absolutely amazing tool. Wireshark, like I'm telling you right now, hardcore pen testers, hackers from elite hackers. I won't tell you where they're from. We all know where they're from. They're from everywhere, really. USA has them. Australia, we have them. You have Israel, you have Russia, North Korea, Europe, France, everywhere. All these powerful countries and organizations, they use Wireshark as a tool they use other tools, by the way. They do have more sophisticated tools, but Wireshark is a really, really amazing tool. And I'm going to show you a couple of others too. But now Wireshark is also going to help us understand our network layer fundamentals as well. It's a great learning tool too. You actually can break down the traffic into the layers, like your data link, network, and port numbers. So I got a bit of hay fever, so I might do apologize if I sniff a little bit. Yesterday there was a storm. It was hot and then a storm. My hay fever went crazy, so I'm still recovering from that. So apologies for my blocked nose. Yeah, now then we're going to talk about different cybersecurity threats to networks and how to address them. One of my favorite topics. I have a basic understanding of pen testing and hacking, but my strength is actually communicating cybersecurity threats to people who don't understand much about cybersecurity. That's my strength. So, like a cybersecurity awareness representative. That was my favorite role. Apart from being a teacher, working in cybersecurity awareness was my favorite job. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, and I'm going to talk to you about a broad range of attack vectors. So, as I mentioned, this is on my PowerPoint slide. This is where I stole those point forms from. I thought I was going to write one. I thought, why should I write one? It's already here. This is good. You will need to have pretty good verbal communication because in one of the assignments, there will be a video presentation. So I already know that people will have a little bit of anxiety about this, but can I tell you, when I did this, when I started for my master's, I had that little bit of anxiety at the beginning, but I loved it in the end. And I had one of my presentations, I had 10 minutes to do it, and I couldn't keep it within the 10 minutes. I had to ask my the unit coordinator where I was starting at, can I please have some more time? And they said, no, you have that 10 minutes, give or take. So in the end, I had a bit of anxiety, but then I loved it. I love the verbal communication. Don't worry about that right now. I'm going to help you through that. Yeah, so communicating using different media, you will have to write, obviously, and you will have to talk. Okay. I don't know how much, 60, 70, 80% of communication between humans is non-verbal. I don't know how much it is, but it's a lot. It's the majority of communication between us is non-verbal. You can see I'm using my hands to communicate. I'm doing this all the, it's just me, and now that I'm noticing it, it's weird. But I'll give you an example. If you frown and your face is sad and you're shaking, it looks like you're scared. But if you're smiling and you're shaking, it looks like you're excited. The smile, the power of a smile, the frown, just the muscle movement here can change the whole communication. It's amazing how powerful nonverbal communication is. So it's good to get practice on doing these video presentations and being excited and smiling and being passionate and being involved and being interested and engaged. When I teach students, at the Navy, when I was teaching students how to configure stuff, if they weren't interested, and that, I can tell they're bored. I can tell they don't want to be there. They have to be there just by their verbal communication. If you look at cats and dogs, these animals, they can't talk, right? Well, if we can talk to them, and which some people say is okay. The problem is when they start talking back, then it's time to see a therapist, right? Because they're not supposed to be talking to you. But when they communicate with each other, they don't talk. They can't talk. They can't express how they feel to each other using words. So they communicate with their tails or their eyes, or the body movement, or the smell. Humans, when we're actually we do that too. We don't have tails, obviously. We don't have a lot of hair. Although I do, because I've got a Mediterranean, Middle East background. So, but and bushy eyebrows. But yeah, so this communication, nonverbal, is powerful. I'm going to teach you a couple of tricks. And by the way, in cybersecurity, there's a whole branch of cybersecurity called social engineering, which pretty much is psychology of cybersecurity. Oh, fantastic! So I'm glad that you've got your voice sound working, Mai Tai. You'll have to watch this later on because there's a few things I was talking about that are important. So anyway, teamworks and roles. There's no assignment or task where you have to build a team, but you have to simulate that. In cybersecurity, we have to work in teams. So if you're a pen tester, or if you're on the blue team, if you're working if you're a cyber analyst, you have to work in teams. You cannot do this by yourself. So you need to learn a bit about teamwork. Information literacy. There's cybersecurity is a lot of information. There is no one in this world that knows everything about cybersecurity. I can absolutely guarantee you that. In fact, I don't think there's anyone that knows anything about a branch of cybersecurity about everything. So, there's a lot of information out there, and you have to find the information that's relevant to you. And technical literacy, you actually have to go and do stuff. There's no prescribed text. You don't have to go out and buy any books. Everything that you need will be in the modules. Undertaking regular online discussions. Again, I'm a bit disappointed that I've only got 2 people that's come in for this class. I was hoping that there'd be a lot more. Hopefully next Thursday, we'll have a lot more people coming in. I'm just letting you know now that the more you come and spend time with me in these online collaborations, then the more evidence you're providing me that you understand the content, and then I get to see that evidence in your report writing, in your assignments. So just a bit of a hint there. The more time you spend on the discussions and on the weekly sessions, the more time the more evidence that I can see that you understand the material, and perhaps there's been many correlation studies that empirically prove that the more engaged a student is in discussion groups and online classes, the better marks they get. There is a significant increase. So please come to the online sessions and engage in the discussion groups and communicate with me all the time. I'm pretty sure that your score will improve by doing that too. Assignment 1 is 1,500 words, and it's a 15-minute presentation. So we give you a PCAP file, and in that PCAP file contains the recorded network communication of an event that has happened. Your job is to inspect that file and have a look at that traffic that happened during an incident, and then write a report on it and provide a 15 minutes presentation of it. It's a lot of fun. Trust me, you're going to love this. It is worth 40%. Okay. And because it's worth 40%, there is a potential that, so I usually will mark your assignments. In fact, I will mark all the assignments, but there is a possibility that it will be cross-marked by an academic from Swinburne on campus. So just a heads up for quality control. That's due in 6th of January. So you've got a bit of time. You have a bit of time. Then there is assignment 2, security plan. It's about it is 2,000 words, give or take 10%. It's worth 30%, and that's due in January. So not very, still spaced out nice and evenly. Then there is a 2,000 word and a 10-minute presentation on wireless security standards. To pass this subject, you need an overall mark of 50%. If you do all the work and you do the presentations and you produce material and produce work to a certain standard, that's you should be doing this. But my philosophy in life is go hard or go home. So don't aim for 50%, aim for 100%, aim for a HD. Aim high, and the higher you aim and you put that effort in, you will get really good marks. For references, you're going to need for these reports to go out and find other material to support the claims that you make for recommendations, and the referencing will be APA 7th edition. There are a couple of things, some technologies that you will need to go and grab. Word limit, by the way, is give or take 10%. Extensions, please give me some time for extensions. So that I can, because I've got other subjects too that I run. I run 4 units. Even though I'm a casual, I have 4 units. So I need some time. If you think that you might need extra time yourself, ask for an extension. I will give you, that 48 hour up to 48 hours. If you need more, you need to tell me why. But I'm very fair on this. But I just need that time. That's the only thing I ask for you. Again, the turnaround times for communication is about 24 hours for emails if you send them to me directly, and about 48 hours in the discussion boards. But in my Discord room, I'm there all the time. I'll probably respond to you like in seconds. I'm always there, unless I'm teaching other subjects. So there we go. There you can apply for special consideration. Go come to this website here. I'll post it. You can learn. You can look for more information there. All right, now so let's have a look at modules over here. You will need to go to Immersive Labs. Okay, now if you have already used Immersive Labs, okay, if you try to use that Immersive Labs again, that same email, it might not work for you. Okay, you might have an issue accessing that. If you have an issue, the easiest way is just to use another email account. Okay, and then sign up with this code. If you want to keep your same username, that's if it's not working, by the way, then you can do something about it. You have to email Immersive Labs and ask for them to fix it, and it's a bit of a pain. It's a big challenge. But I hope that it's not going to be an issue. So so what I do is I go to Immersive Labs, click on that link there. I sign in using my Swinburne account. There's me. I just sign in. I have a password manager looking after my passwords. And I'm not sure if you've all come in here before, but this is where there is the labs here. So you might need the sign up code for this. And then, follow the instructions for the very first time. It's easy to follow. You really shouldn't have an issue with this. But if you do, let me know. The other part of the modules is Wireshark. Okay, so you will need to download Wireshark, which is an absolutely amazing tool. Watch the video; it's 40 minutes. There is an academic who has already created a tutorial, but I'm here to help you as well. I've used Wireshark for a very long time, so I will teach you in a way that's a fundamental foundational knowledge. So I won't talk in jargon. I won't be boring. I'll make it interesting when you need me. If you need any help with Wireshark, so you'll need to use Wireshark, especially for assignment 1. So start getting used to it now. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. So that's it. That's all the technology you need. Immersive Labs and Wireshark. You won't need virtual machines or anything else for now. First task, go and introduce yourself here. And go into Immersive Labs 1 and watch DNS. Learn a little bit about DNS, which is an application level protocol tool, not a protocol, sorry, a tool, which helps us convert computer names or websites into IP addresses. So what's the focus for this week, for week 1? Because we're already into that already. These are the things that you will have to look at, okay, as you go along, as you read and engage in this content. Any questions? May type because you had issues before with the sound. Did you have any questions? Or Ufuk, did you have any questions with that so far? How are you feeling with the unit so far? Feeling good? Well, there's only 2 people, so it's a bit of a no one. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that next Thursday we're gonna have a lot more fun with more people coming in, and bring in your questions and your ideas, and because I want this to be a collaboration, not just me talking. Um, I don't want me to be doing this a lot. I want us to have that communication so that you're learning and that you're engaged and that you're interested and focused. So keep coming back and keep coming. The worst thing for me is that when no one comes into this collaboration sessions, I'll still be here and I'll still deliver, but I'll be like, there'll only be like 15 or 20-minute sessions, just me talking to no one. I want 10, 15 people in this room, and I want this to be lots and lots of fun and interesting as well. Yeah, so any questions or any discussions? No? Okay, well, that's about it. That's all I've got for you then. I will see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. In the meantime, you know how to reach me: email, discussion group, Discord. If you want to set up something on WhatsApp or Signal or whatever you want, I'm open to that as well. Whatever communication works best for you. All right, everyone, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for coming, and thank you for listening to the recording. I'm going to end the recording now, and hopefully I'll see you all next Thursday. Thank you, everyone. Good evening.